Hello everybody, welcome to episode 1 of the Weekly Cheese. I'm Matt Gunther.
And I'm Kyle Greenwell.
The Weekly Cheese covers the Starcraft 2 stories that are all over the internet right now. If you've seen the podcast Dignation, we're similar to that, but we're only going to be covering Starcraft 2 stories. So Kyle, how you doing?
I am doing wonderful. How are you, Matt?
Doing great. This is our first video, so we're pretty excited about doing this one. We've got our great friends Justin and Kyle.
Kyle.
Eric.
Eric.
Eric's gonna punch me when we're done with
He's totally.
Yeah, they're watching, so this is our live crowd right now. That's what we're working with.
It's exciting.
So, shall we get on with the show then?
Let's do it. First story.
All right, so my first story is the ex-Slayers Zerg player, Sleep, signs with Check 6 Gaming, and he's moving to the U.S. So, yada yada the story. Basically, he signed with Check 6, so he's going to be playing with them, moving to the United States from Korea. So, this brought up a good point that I kind of wanted to talk about. A lot of Koreans now, it seems like, are joining non-Korean teams, foreign teams. So, you have, OGS MC, or I guess MC, right? Because he quit OGS. He's now SK.
Yep.
You have Violet join. I know he was a free agent for a while, and he just signed with... I can't remember the name. It's a Russian team. I can't remember the name of them.
And then Puma.
Empire Gaming, maybe?
Puma joining AG.
Yeah, Puma. So what do you think? Why are they doing that? Any idea?
It seems like the North American and even the European, the foreigner scene in general is getting a lot better about putting on big tournaments with big prize pools. The GSL basically isn't the only option anymore for players. So it kind of makes sense for them to branch out a little bit more than just, not having to spend all their time in Korea. So...
Yeah, get some, you think maybe just to kind of travel and stuff and get some international exposure?
Yeah, maybe travel is fun for them, although I don't know, it seems like a lot of work when they travel right before a tournament and they have to deal with jet lag and all that other stuff. But yeah, a good opportunity for them to branch out and get away from Korea and see what the rest of the world is like. And Korea is obviously the mecca for everything Starcraft or Starcraft 2, but, it seems like the foreign scene is catching up slowly but surely. Maybe not necessarily in talent, but at least in, having a bunch of tournaments all over the place, a lot of different opportunities for players to go and show themselves off and make some money. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. I think that, showing that all these Korean players are deciding to, take a risk essentially and go with these other teams, that's showing that they have the confidence as pro players. People, they're seasoned in StarCraft. Because it's from Korea pretty much. That's where the competitive side, it takes off. Sure. So for them to to put their faith and everything in these other teams and know that they'll take care of them. I think that says a lot that the international scene, as opposed to Korea being a mecca, right? The international scene's growing. So
and that's good news.
Yep, thought that's pretty interesting. So what do you got? What's your story?
My first story. There will not be a BlizzCon this year, so no BlizzCon 2012, but what they're going to do instead is have a Battle.net World Championship for 2012. So it's going to be a 4-tiered system. They're doing a grassroots qualifier nationally and in all these different regions. And then they'll move on from the qualifier to national championships. And then continental championships, and then finally they'll go with a world championship that is going to be somewhere in Asia, and it'll be twice the size from the BlizzCon tournament last year, so 32 players, held in Asia at the end of the year.
So how's this different from BlizzCon last year, though? Because it's the same thing. You have the qualifier tournaments, and you all met for the...
Basically what they're doing is they're just cutting out everything else other than the tournament. The stuff that some people didn't, we watched BlizzCon last year together. Yeah. And they had the costume competition and
okay, I get it now. I get
all the different panels and stuff for all the different Blizzard games, the Diablo game and
so just the BlizzCon. I was thinking you meant like the whole, last time they had, it's kind of the same thing, the tournaments, the qualifiers for all the countries, and they all met at BlizzCon. So I see what you're saying, they're giving it its own venue.
It's going to be its own thing, and they're going to focus completely on that. And
good.
Part of the reason for doing that is because they want to focus on, getting these new things out, Diablo 3 and the Heart of the Swarm expansion, and they're even working on what they call a next-gen MMO title.
Yes, which rumor has it. Now rumors, right? So nothing confirmed here. And no, I don't know anybody who works at BlizzCon. But word on the street is it's going to be an MMO FPS.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't hear about that.
Geared towards a wider, like a more broad audience.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get more broad than World of Warcraft? I know, like, old ladies that play it. I know 14-year-olds that play it.
Yeah, I mean, they've got everybody
Pretty sure
covered.
my dog could play it. No.
But WoW is losing a lot of its audience, so
WoW is.
maybe they're trying to do something new to capture that audience back.
Yeah.
But with this tournament, it should be. It seems like they're listening to feedback from last year's, problems where it was a really small player pool at the actual tournament. The final tournament at BlizzCon. They had some pretty bad coverage in terms of casting games and showing, highlighting players. So
yeah, there was a lot of complaints about that.
Yeah, they're listening to the community this time.
It seems like a lot of people didn't really know when they got the BlizzCon ticket that there was going to be all the World of Warcraft stuff included.
Yeah,
they just thought it was Starcraft 2 because that's all that they really paid attention to. So
well, this tournament will also have the WoW arena, but obviously that's its own thing, and we won't focus on something like that. It'll be all Starcraft. So
yeah, that's cool.
You got another one?
Yep. So this is neat. This is a picture, pretty much. Visual cues for unit upgrades. Now, a lot of people already know about this, but there's some in here that I didn't know about. Mm-hmm. So I thought, we'd share this and talk about it just for those who don't. So, for example, Zergling speed, right? The Zerglings get the little wings. That's how you can tell visually that they have the Zergling speed. I knew that one. A lot of people knew that one. Mm-hmm. Banelings, when they have centrifugal hooks, they roll faster. And they roll. They physically roll. Kind of easy to see. Mm-hmm. This one I did not know was that the roaches would get spines on their backs when they get tongue and claws.
Oh, cool, yeah.
I didn't know that. Another one, Marines, I'm kind of embarrassed to say. As a Terran player, I did not know this one either. When you get combat shield, they get an extra plate over their left shoulder. Yeah. And then the battle cruiser gets the Yamato cannon. See, I mean, this was kind of hard to see, but it's just that fusion radioactive looking area in the front. And then this one was neat too. At first I didn't really understand what they meant by this, but I get it now. So normally when you have zealots and stalkers running in a group, the stalkers always pull away from the zealots. Yeah. But if they have a charge upgrade, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Then they'll be able to keep up with the stalkers when they're running. So it shows right here. It shows right here where it is with the upgrade as opposed to where it would be. Right. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, they get both a speed boost and then of course the actual charge ability.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. That'd be kind of helpful to anyone who didn't know. I mean, I knew some of these, some of them I didn't, but
yeah, and we'll put the picture up on the website, or maybe even put it on the screen while we're talking about it, so you guys can see that.
Yes, some video editing action. Mm-hmm. All right, that was
pretty cool.
Yeah, that was my second one.
Okay, I got another one here. MLG has announced the Winter Online Qualifiers full player list. And there are tons of names on it, so I'm not going to go through everybody, obviously.
Oh, come on, man. We got time, right?
But, all the obvious players that you would expect to be on there. And they broke it up by region, so they have a North American list, Europe, and Korea and Taiwan. Which Europe seems like a really small list, but some of those players might be playing on either the Korean or the North American.
I see the Muslim on there. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, the Muslim on there. And a South Korean Rain is going to be on the North American side, according to this. Some other players that I don't know about, WBC here, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I wonder if I have any breakout players
well, and I did see one of your guys, Polt, is
Polt
going to be playing on the Korean.
I'm a big Polt fan.
Qualifier. And then of course all the big names, for North America, Kiwikaki, Slush, Sheth, In Control, Machine, Druby, Tyler, Kwai Rice. Most of the guys that you're used to seeing at these tournaments. For the European side, Rhett, Sho, Sake, Thorzane, Violet can play on the European server. Hasuabs, Grubby.
Violet, I think. Will this be his debut? I think this will be his debut with
Violet.
Yeah, with the.
Did he not play any last
Team
year?
Empire. Well, I think he did, but he's been playing solo, free agent status.
So he'll be playing under Empire. You said?
I think it's Empire. If I'm wrong,
And then, of course, on the Korean server, all the players that you love: MMA, boxer, bomber.
MMA. Did you see Kiev, the IEM in Kiev, Ukraine? So MMA, Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Yeah, MMA crushed everybody. What can you say? I mean,
no surprise.
Dude's on fire right now. Yeah, it didn't surprise me at all. I think out of all his matches, he only lost 2, like through round robin and the actual
2 games
playoffs.
or 2 matches.
2 games total.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, he just stomped everybody.
Mm-hmm. Let's see who else we got. Marine King, I'm excited about that. Sometimes he struggles to get to tournaments because he's not on a team, so no one ever pays his way. I know that he's had Reddit pay his way a couple of times or at least to one tournament I know of, and that's really cool. So it's nice to see people get behind him. And then everybody else: Nesty, July, Polt, White Roz playing from the Korean qualifier, Shoya, Hwang Sin, Todd. All the fruit.
All the good. Looks everybody.
Back. I haven't seen him.
Fruit dealer. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of his games in a long time, but man, was he a badass back then.
Yeah.
So plenty of
lots
players.
of good guys. When is that starting again?
Starts end of January, early February, right?
Yes, that's right. That is right. End of Jan. Yeah. So it should be soon.
Oh, and then I forgot to mention all the players through the qualifier. That win will join the top 8 finishers from Providence of last year. So Leenock, Naniwa, Dongregu, MVP, Huck, MC, Hey Pro, and Idra. So that's why those guys' names aren't on that big qualifier list.
Okay.
So you got another one?
Good deal. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm excited to see that actually. Yeah. It's due, man. It seems like it's been so long. I mean, we just had the IEM thing, but there hasn't been a good. I mean, not that IEM was a better thing, but there hasn't been like an MLG or. I mean, GSL just started. That's been really good watching those.
Yep.
But I'm ready for like some MLG action right now.
Definitely.
It's been a while. All right, so my next story and last story. So the title of this was on joystick.com. 3 hours and out, South Korea considers additional gaming ban for minors. That kind of caught my attention because additional gaming bans. I didn't know there was gaming bans in Korea.
Yeah, they take it seriously over there.
So I'll just read a small part from this. It says, it looks like being a young gamer in South Korea is getting tougher and tougher. Last year, the country put into effect a Cinderella law that prohibited online gamers 18 and younger from logging into popular games between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m. Now the government is taking a close look at an additional law limiting the amount of time played each day for minors. And basically, they're talking about limiting the time played to 3 hours, and then you're done. That's it, 3 hours. But I found it, I mean, it was kind of vague as well because it said, it prohibited online gamers from logging into popular games. Yeah, so what is a popular game? What does that mean?
Starcraft in Korea.
Yeah, Starcraft, World of Warcraft. I'm guessing those usual suspects, but does that mean if I want to play Tetris for 3 hours, I can do that? Or, do a little Mario marathon all day?
Yeah, it's a little vague, for sure.
Yeah, but, I just thought it was interesting, and I'm glad we don't have anything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's kind of neat.
It's nice that they're trying to keep the kids from, it is for under 18, so, where do you draw the line? Some people play, a 14, 15-year-old kid playing games for 10 hours a day, might be stretching it a little bit. Maybe they need to, but I mean, obviously I know nothing about the Korean government or, how their government system works, but I know as an American anyway, it seems a little, odd for the government to step in and try to regulate, a child's gaming habits.
Yeah,
so
you would think that'd be more of a parenting thing,
Yeah, definitely.
If your kid's failing out of school and stuff.
Yeah, but obviously the cultures are a lot different. So,
yeah, definitely.
If that's the way they roll, then I can't hold it against them, obviously.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was my story, man.
Cool. Well, my last one is maybe a rumor. I don't know. It was in a thread in Team Liquid talking about GOM TV. Wanting to shut down Barcraft events in Korea, it looks like, I don't know who this guy is specifically, but he presents himself anyway as a guy who kind of runs a bar and has had Barcraft events, and he got an email from someone at GOM TV saying that he needs to not do those events anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, what do you think? Do you?
Well, this sounds funny. It's going to be funny making the comparison Starcraft 2 and the UFC, but it's similar. When UFCs, they have, if you're a bar and you want to show the UFC event, you have to pay them. You have to pay more for the pay-per-view because they know everybody's going to go to your restaurant and watch it. So I wonder if Gom TV wants to do that, that's fine. But to my knowledge, I don't think they have a plan like that.
No, yeah, exactly.
So if they don't have a plan like that, and they're just like, hey, we're shutting it down, pulling the plug, that kind of sucks because you don't give them an option. You know?
Well, and that's actually exactly what I was thinking. It's, if their idea is just to shut down Barcraft events, Barcraft is a huge thing around the world right now.
Yeah,
everybody's getting in on it, and I would think that GOM TV would want to get involved in that and be a part of that. I mean, that's positive. Experience for their show.
Yeah.
So, but for them to just try to shut something down with no plan behind that seems a little odd to me. Now, I mean, I understand their point of view in that, they make their money off of subscriptions and advertisements and all that stuff. And if you get a bunch of people in one room watching, one guy's pays subscription to it, obviously it's possible that you're losing money on the rest of the people who are at the Barcraft event not paying for it and watching themselves.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said with UFC, it seems to me the right solution would be to get in touch with the people that want to run a Barcraft event and say, hey, we will let you run the stream. We'll let you buy the stream. You pay a little bit more than a normal subscription would, and then we'll allow you to have whatever capacity.
Which is fair. That's completely fair.
Totally.
You're gonna get more people in your bar. If you're doing the Barcraft and you're streaming the event, more people are gonna show up. Especially, I mean, you've seen pictures watching these tournaments like the MLG. They'll be like, oh, we're gonna cut to Barcraft and wherever, right? And it's just crowded.
Yeah, and everybody's yelling and screaming, and they're all drunk.
Yeah.
They've all got a beer in their hand, having fun watching Starcraft, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I saw, this is another article I saw a while ago where a guy was talking about like a Barcraft versus a bar, like a Barcraft rave. Mm-hmm. And he was like, here's a Barcraft. And it was like, like a normal sports bar, people sitting around watching the streams. And then the Barcraft rave was like people shoulder to shoulder and glow sticks and stuff. And it was crazy. The whole room's illuminated by the TV screens.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Huh.
But
pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree with that. Like I said, if there's another option for everybody. So, and it's just in Korea. So it kind of wonders, like, it makes you wonder, are they going to bring this over to the States and be like, oh, you can't show this unless...
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have another reason for doing it in Korea. Obviously, a Barcraft event in Seoul where they have the studio might have an effect on the live audience. Yeah. Although, looking through this post, there's plenty of people saying that, there's never a want for people at the live event itself. And it's free to attend the live event anyway, so it's not like they're going to, they have to.
Yeah, it's not like they're losing out on,
exactly.
18,000 people in attendance, and now they're not going.
Right.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
All right, man.
And I also, I started that with saying, kind of a rumor-ish type of thing, because I don't know that any of this has been confirmed. And I dug around a little bit, and I couldn't find any kind of response from GOM TV either. So this might be something crazy that'll blow over, or it might turn into a big story. We just don't know yet. So.
Yep. All right. Well,
sounds good.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that concludes episode 1. So, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about it. Mm-hmm. And anything you'd like to see on the show or anything differently, let us know. So we're going to be doing the show weekly. So, we'll have another one coming to you shortly. So I'm Matt Gunther.
And I'm Kyle Greenwell.
Until next time.
Enjoy StarCraft.